Lesson 6.1 is on using the percent proportion, and I want to make sure that you take in what you see there. The proportions are not done. We use everything that we do, and so not only are we going to be using proportions, but those words on the outside, those are those key words that are going to help you set up the proportions. They're going to be a little tricky. So I'm talking the percent, the is, the of, and then that green down the bottom, it's always going to be the number 100, so that's going to be helpful. So the percent proportion is part over whole is equal to percent over 100. All right, and that should make some sense because if these two fractions are equal, percent is always a part out of, sorry, I just banged my knee. Percent is out of 100, which is your whole. So to find the percent, examples of questions you might see where they're finding the percent. They want you to calculate what the percent is. An example could be 1 is what percent of 5, or what percent is 5 of 1. Those are the types of questions you're going to see every time it's asking what is the percent. And so that would be the proportion. And we're going to be practicing these. So, for example, 12 is what percent of 32? So we need to set up our proportion, and we need to start plugging in or putting in all the information that we know. All right, right now it says what percent, that's what I'm trying to find out. So I'm going to put an X for what percent, and I know that percent is always out of 100. Now, the other two numbers that they give us, 12 is what percent of 32? Those is and of words are going to become very valuable. It's saying 12 is, so 12 is the part, all right? And then of 32, of the whole 32. It's going to go on the bottom. This is going to take a lot of time to get used to. I do not expect you to understand this after this video. We're going to spend a lot of time in class working on this. So we got to do our cross proportions. I told you they're not going away. So 32x is going to give us 1200. X is being multiplied by 32, so do the opposite, divide by 32 on both sides, and X is equal to, divide that out. I'm sorry, again, I can't get a calculator to show up, I apologize, but X is 37.5. Now here's the nice thing, that X is percent, you don't have to convert anything, no moving decimal, no multiplying by 100, boom, you are done. That is your answer right there, 37.5%. All right, so same type of question. What percent of 18 is 9? So set up our proportion. What percent, that's what I'm trying to figure out. And it's always going to be, percent is always out of 100. All right, so what percent of 18 is 9? So that of 18 is the whole. That's going on the bottom on the numerator. And the is 9, the is the part that goes on top. So the numbers don't necessarily show you the order of where you write them. You actually have to read and get clues from those words. Some of you can probably see it, all right, but I want to cross multiply. So 18x is equal to 900, and if we divide by 18 on both sides, X is going to give us 50%. Some of you guys might have been able to see that. 9 is half of 18, so X is going to be 50%. So finding the part, examples that you might see are what number is 20% of 5. So the way that you would write that is X over 5 is 20 over 100. So some examples here that we can do. What number is 15.5% of 450? Same thing. We need to write a proportion. All right, well, they give us our percent. Our percent is 15.5. Again, no converting, we just get to write it. And it's 15.5 always out of 100. And it's saying what number is. That's what we don't know. 15.5% of 450. 450 is our of, that's our whole. So that's going to go on the bottom, and our x is going to go on the top. All right. I'm going to cross multiply. 100x is equal to 6,975. And then x is being multiplied by 100, so divide by 100. X is going to give you 69.75. That's the part. All right, same thing for our second example. What number is 11.4% of 330? Let's get my proportion set up. It gives us the percent, and it's always going to be out of 100. What number is, we don't know the part. Of 330, that is our whole, so that's going on the bottom. Same thing, we can cross multiply. 100x is equal to, it's going to be 3,762. X is being multiplied by 100. So do the opposite, divide by 100. So x is going to give you 62. Okay? Okay, and our last one is when you need to find the whole. Example questions would be 1 is 20% of what number? And the proportion would be 1 over x is equal to 20 over 100. So some examples I want to do with you here. 78 is 60% of what number? These are actually, I don't know, these might be the easiest ones for you to see. I don't know, I'm guessing. 78 is 60%. Start with the percent, you know it's 60, always out of 100. And then 78 is, so that's our part, of what number? Of what? Of the whole. I don't know what the whole is, so we're putting the x there. Same thing, cross multiply. 60 times x gives you 60x. 78 times 100, 7,800. X is being multiplied by 60, so divide by 60 on both sides. And you're going to get x is 130. All right, the same thing with the last question. 30% of what number is 63? So set up your proportion. 30%, so it's 30, always out of 100. Of what number is 63? The is 63, the part is 63, so that goes on the top. The of is the unknown, that's our x. Cross multiply. We're going to have 30 times x is equal to 63 times 100, which is 6,300. And then x is being multiplied by 30. So do the opposite, which is dividing by 30. And you're going to get x is 210. Again, I do not expect you guys to fully understand this, but those keywords is and of, those are going to help us. That we just got to get memorized. Okay, and you've been working with proportions, so the math is not new. It's just setting up the proportions. We are going to practice a lot of this tomorrow. All right, I'll see you then.